Yo, some shit's about to go down, and we're here to tell you about it. So, climb aboard. You know what's about to happen. About to fuck some shit up. Let's go.
Through the white thunderstorms, we ride on the back of our truckers in a fearless flight. Sons of gold, hearts made of fire, conquering lands, fueling our desires. Roaring engines and lightning in our eyes. United we stand, strength won't compromise. From the east to the west, we sail, we roll. Beneath open skies, a promised land where our spirits arise. We battle the storms and tides of the sea. Now we've arrived in the land we're meant to be.
I'm muted. Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me now? What is going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome to the Dragon Ship. Where am I? There's a guy with shirtless behind me. He's kind of large. Shit. Great, he's getting closer. It's getting kind of weird. Does anyone? No, don't show your butt to this camera. Don't show your butt to the camera. Oh man, great. Now he's pulling out toys and shit. Why we gotta play with shit? Like, why we gotta play like when we have company
Have you
over?
been into the hammers?
Just mine?
What is that on the hammer?
That is that's the Thor symbol. Yeah, no,
The Vulcan.
Vulcan. Yeah, that thing.
You see all that snot and shit all over it? What
Yep.
the hell, man?
That's not my snot.
Uh-huh.
See, my snot is green. That is
Where's Vidar? You been into the hammers?
It's definitely Vidar's. Even though I don't have him up on the camera right now, he can't talk. So I'm definitely blaming this all on Vidar. This is all Vidar.
Well, you know where this goes afterwards. Make sure it gets cleaned.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, I'll be back. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, guys. Where were we? That was a pretty opening. Let me get into it. Since I'm the guy that's hosting this, I got some shit to say about some things, don't I? I do. All right. Let's go. So, can we talk about the circus? The Ashley and St. Clair, circus. You know what I'm talking about? If you don't, let me go ahead and help you out here. This conservathought just came out and announced that she is Elon Musk's baby mama. Number 4. Baby number 4. Yes, 4. And baby mama to child of number 13 for Elon Musk. Now, she's not a wifey. No. She's not even a fiance. Nope. She's just another woman in the rotation who got the golden ticket to the Tesla child support fund. And what do we see? We see nothing but conservatives. Yes, the same ones who scream about family values and, biblical marriage, right? Clapping like a bunch of desperate simps in a strip club, throwing digital ones that are in some form of congratulations. I mean, what the actual is going on here? Is this what traditional values look like? I mean, the same guys who lose their minds over single mommies are now celebrating Elon's personal version of Sister Wives, the billionaire edition. You're telling me if some random chick from the trailer park or the ghetto says she's had baby number 13 and she's baby mama number 4 with some guy who refuses to put a ring on it, Would y'all be celebrating? Anybody? I don't think so. She'd be called irresponsible. She would be a burden on society and a bad example for young women, right? But because it's Elon's, suddenly single motherhood is based. Yeah, that's right. I said it's based. And we're all supposed to pretend like this is somehow some part of the conservative dream. Nah, let's call it what it is. What it is that the conservatives seem to have dropped family values for billionaire harems. You've become a fangirl for a dude who's out here pumping and dumping like it's Wall Street strategy. No hate on Elon. Like, he's playing the game. Salute to you, pimpin'. You're doing it well. He's got the money, the power, the access. But let's not pretend for 1 second this isn't anything but conservative. Let's not pretend for a second that this is not how we're going to save the West, right? And here's the kicker. Here's the real kicker. Y'all don't even realize how you're proving every red pill content creator that has spoken about this absolutely correct. We've told you that your morality, your religion, your whatever buffers that you have in place will not keep hypergamy, nature, your biological desires in check. So, how about we just kind of come to terms here? Instead of, yelling at men and women about how the importance of motherhood is, and yelling at us men, telling us that, we need to go wife up these women and become, good servant leaders. How about we just all play fair? Since you guys are cool with high status men creating fatherless homes, and that's suddenly okay, and suddenly single motherhood isn't a problem when the bank account is fat enough, then let's just realize, can we just all agree that morality it's nice to sound like it's a good thing that we want to live by, but when it comes down to it, we'll throw our morals out the window if it's convenient for us. It's all about wealth and status, apparently. If a rich man knocks up multiple women without commitment, that's fine. Average dude does it, he's a deadbeat. So tell me, conservatives, this is all for you conservatives out there, you Daily Wires, your Onion, whatever. I don't know all your conservative blahs, but this is for you. I got a question. Because we all know it ain't about the nuclear family, and it ain't about monogamy now. It ain't about marriage. Looks like to me that you guys are fully on board with soft harems, multiple women having babies by one rich man, which I'm like, cool, do your thing. Or you guys are cool with single mommies. I don't know. I don't know which one it is. But let's not pretend Ashley isn't milking this for clout. She didn't have to announce that she's baby mama number 4. She didn't. She wanted to. She's out here playing chess while all y'all are playing checkers and you're playing yourselves. She gonna get podcast invites, brand deals, conservative dudes in her DMs pretending they care about how they want to save the West. You got guys trying to audition for Elon Musk's leftovers, right? Bottom line is, either y'all are all about single mommies or you're all about harems, because y'all sure as hell ain't about traditional families no more. So can y'all pick a struggle and let the red pill kind of help the guys that need help get help? And can you guys get out of our way for once, please? Thank you. Now let's talk about it. Fellas.
Yo, Skull.
Did I say anything wrong?
Nah. This is something that I've honestly been calling out for years. All right. And if you actually study history a little bit, you can look at, how things were done with the Catholic Church, where they stopped letting, the priests get married. Well, why? To make sure the money didn't leave the church and go into inheritance.
Yep.
So if you go back through history, it's always been like this. It's always a rules for thee, but not for me. Like, yeah, sure, monogamy is good for society, but that's for all the losers. That's for all the guys that, don't have money and status. All the guys that have money and status, they can do it, right? They either do it under the table, or when they get caught, they just own it, right? You see a lot of guys even do this, like, promoting these sort of quote blue pill ideas, and then they get busted for cheating on their wife. It's just like, so you see the pattern of human nature repeat over and over again. And that is, if you've got money and status, you can have as many women as you can get.
Yeah. And I mean, come on. The dude is like pretty much the second most powerful man in the country. Trump being number one. He's definitely the richest, right? But he's definitely the second most powerful man in the country. And you don't think baby mama number 4 is going to try to like use a little bit of clout, a little bit of Elon power to throw her weight around? Like, she didn't even have to acknowledge. Why would you want to tell everybody that you're baby mama number 4, for one? And on Valentine's Day, out of all reasons, was it because Elon wasn't spending Valentine's Day with you? And you thought since you had maybe the newest child that you deserved it? Maybe somebody was feeling a little selfish in their feels about some things. I don't know. But, Vidar, what do you think?
Well, I think I'm right there with Viking Paradigm in that it's human nature. There's how many guys that are out there you hear about preachers that all of a sudden they find out that they're having affairs. They're preaching one thing and then doing another. I mean, no man is perfect, but that's quite a temptation. I think when it comes to human nature, we all see the idea of monogamy and we like it, but in actuality, we are not monogamous creatures. So,
Yeah,
you
we're
get
both.
yeah, we see the benefit, we love the idea, but at the same time, we're not. As far as
I think it's on a
with women, as
wouldn't
far
you
as
say?
this woman, I mean, when you're talking about Elon Musk, he's on a completely different level than any of us are, and that any woman he gets with, she's going to try to have a baby with him. She's going to try to get some of that.
I mean,
wealth.
I'm not even mad at her because I'd do the same damn thing
Yeah.
if I was in her shoes.
So that's a different thing. And as far as guys being able to do it, you don't have to have power and wealth to do that. I knew one guy that had quite a few different women. He just liked to go whaling, but he had no
Whaling?
issues.
Oh no. We talk about respecting your penis over here.
Yeah,
It's a
I agree.
Zone,
Just-
okay?
Mm-hmm. Well, if you want to go hogging, you can find lots of
No.
lots of them, but
We try to stay away from that.
yeah.
Well, come on, man. We got a great whaling vessel.
No, we don't. We retired the boat, okay? The boat's been retired. We're not whale watchers no more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Vidar touched on a good point there, and you see this a lot in, we'll delve down a little side tangent here. This is like the vegan versus carnivore argument, or the vegetarian versus carnivore argument. It obfuscates the fact that human beings aren't herbivores or carnivores. We are omnivores, which is a different diet, right? It's not just a combination of the two. Yes, there is some overlap, but once again, we as human beings do both, and we can easily switch back and forth.
Okay, I get it. You're bisexual now. Thank you for letting us know. The hint is, we got the hint.
I was talking about relationship monogamy there, sir.
Oh, gotcha. My bad.
I see where your brain's going. But that's the thing, is like we want to obfuscate the truth. The truth is actually somewhere in the middle, but people keep going to these extremes, and then they want to shame everybody else for being human.
Yeah. Shut up.
You know, there's an inner inside of us. We have this natural desire to want to spread our seed as men, and that I think underlies a lot of issues that even we on our subconscious or conscious we don't think about. So it's easy to want to do that. I mean, to even if you're in a relationship and some pretty girl comes along and all of a sudden those natural desires start taking over. If you're in a monogamous relationship, you many times have to fight that because there is that desire that's implanted within us that is human nature, and that is to make sure the human race continues, and that's where we spread our seed. So
You know what's funny? Like I'm looking at like I was looking at earlier this day some of the comments that they were like they're getting, right? Like people like pushing back, like responding. They're like, at least she didn't have an abortion. I'm like, what do you want? You want fucking cookies for that? Like you want a good job. You know, like what do you want? Like, because this is the funny thing about all this. And I'm gonna pull it up right now. All right. So this is the funny thing about all of this when it comes to this whole thing. She's that conservative chick, right? That'd be like, oh, I would never do something like this. Like, and it's hilarious because she really did exactly what she said she wouldn't do, you know, and it baffles me. Like, where is it at? Second. Where did I do it? It is.
Real quick, it just goes back to what Rolo says. Women make rules for betas and break them for alphas.
Well, they just switch on them when it's convenient for them, right?
Well, exactly. Once again, they love opportunistically. As you said before, a lot of these things, it doesn't matter what you say, your actions speak louder than your words every time. And if your actions are not matching your words, then you find hypocrisy. And all human beings are hypocrites to one degree or another. But it comes down to, are you minimalizing that hypocrisy and actually trying to do the right thing? Because we always have that choice between do what's right or what's easy.
Oh, so this is what she said. I don't understand the feminist logic behind not wanting men to objectify women, but also encouraging young girls to make a living selling their bodies on OnlyFans, right? This is what she said. And like, cause you know, she's trying to say like, you know, telling women that it's okay to sell their bodies on OnlyFans. My response was like, well, so she didn't really sell her body on OnlyFans, but she did sell her womb to Elon. So basically, instead of going on OnlyFans, she's making her living on Elon's fans. You know, cue in the 50 Cent song, "Have a Baby by Me, Baby, Be a Millionaire." Because that's exactly what happened. You know, and it's like, did they forget like how things were supposed to be? Like, I mean, I don't know about you guys. Vidar, you're kind of old. Marriage is supposed to be like, you know, husband and wife, and then you have the kids, and then not Huds. Huds doesn't have kids. Huds is a kid. You know, you got like this whole like, you got to get engaged, and then you get the married, and then you bump the uglies, right? That's how it's supposed to be. At least traditionally speaking.
At least traditionally speaking, at least in my Gen X generation, we always took it for a test drive first. But yeah, traditionally, you're supposed to wait till marriage.
Now, did you test drive the Poopo Loophole?
Always.
What's that?
Never mind. You don't know.
Okay.
He doesn't know about the Poopo Loophole.
Well,
All right, what am I walking into? Where are we at in the conversation?
Well, we were about to figure out why Spider. Never mind. So if they used to do this thing traditionally, right, and that's what these trad cons are supposed to be pushing for. When did they give out a memo says that if you become a billionaire's fourth baby mama, you could like renege on all trad con beliefs as long as you bring in child number 13?
Well, it comes back to that another maxim, men love idealistically, women love opportunistically. So guys are idealizing women and their female nature into something it's not. And women know this, so what do? They sell the dream the same way that guys sell the dream, right? Guys sell the dream all the time of, hey, you'll get exclusive access to me. And then when women find out that it doesn't matter how loyal the guy is, there's always that possibility, right? It's just like when my girl asked me, oh, would you ever cheat on me? I said, I don't know. I've never been in that situation. Right. So how would I know how I'm going to react with temptation? I don't know for sure. So rather than lying to her and saying, oh, no, baby, I would never cheat on you, I just told her the truth. Like, idealistically, I wouldn't, but you don't know for sure till you're tested.
So would that be? So he's not really selling the dream; he's selling the cream.
Oh, I mean, Elon has to be like, he don't give a fuck. He's like,
No, that dude is the Genghis Khan.
he's like, I got
of
13
this
kids.
century.
Well, one, guess what? He's smart. He's at the point where, like, even if like they try to get him for child support, they wouldn't be able to.
Oh,
As soon as you exceed more than like 10 kids or something like that,
there is no more.
This-
to deduct, yeah.
they can't get you for child support.
That's a thing?
Yeah,
Are you sure?
Nick.
It's state by state.
Is it state by state? Like I think Nick. What's his name? The Gigolo guy. No.
Talking about Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon did it, and there's one more celebrity that did it, and then now Elon has 13. Yeah. No more child support. He's smart. I mean, if you're
that would make sense.
No, go ahead, Charles.
I was just going to say that would make sense in certain contexts, because if the idea is that you're supposed to take a portion of the guy's income to give it to the mom, to give to the kids, to enable the kids, but yet he's got all those kids, like they're all going to be getting a few dollars, and it's not going to really, even if he's rich, that under certain contexts that would make sense, because then there's so many families involved at that point that they probably are just like, it's just too much. So would kind of make sense, but I still think it could be done, but it would require more bureaucracy to work.
I mean, if they're gonna get anybody for child support, like who they're like, look, you could pay your damn child support. It will be Elon, right?
Well, and that's also the thing, is that those guys have the money legally to fight back.
Yeah. And here's the funny thing. It's like, it wasn't too long ago that this same TradCon girl was talking about she wanted to get deked down by Tyrone on her, was it Sexy Laptop Confessions or whatever? Yeah. So let's just be real. She's not really a conservative, right? There's nothing conservative about her, even the back door. Okay. So the truth is she's grifting on them. She's masquerading on them. Or she's one of those like Nala,
She's got really good set of flensing knives at home. The whale is defined differently in this context. May not have an extra 100 pounds of body fat, just an extra $1 billion to flens off of the carcass of the simp that is willing to do it. How it gets done, I think, is immaterial to her. If that's kids. Now, she can use that against it. This guy has the desire that every man has, and that is to repopulate the planet completely by himself.
Yep.
And die trying.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the DNA you're given. That's the injection. Here's your program, sir. It is a good program. You're a good guy. You're going to earn a lot, but your program is spread that seed and sell that cream. And you get the bonus as that man to mentor all these young human beings into your way of thinking. How awesome is that? Son, go forth and multiply. We heard
Yeah.
that before. Don't the conservatives say something like that?
So yes, the Bible says you're supposed to be fruitful.
Fruitful and multiply.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
It says also like a man with like a bunch of arrows in his quiver.
Yeah.
Is like supposed to be a wealthy guy or something like that, or a blessed guy.
You know what? Vidar would know a lot of that scripture that would come into play. And maybe we can get into that with him. I think he'd be a really good source to kind of talk about how the conservatives might view a relationship situation like Elon Musk right now. I think there's a divide actually.
No, there is like
a masculinity crisis, and masculinity and femininity come back together again. It'll be very, very talked about in this next few years because it was so suppressed. Remember toxic masculinity? Remember the Gillette shaving?
I am the ambassador of toxic masculinity. Remember that? Laurent did label me that.
I saw that on that hammer. That's your hammer.
Oh, yeah, right over here. Yep.
Well, it's nice to see that you have your own hammers now. When you
ambassador of toxic masculinity, right here.
Except you know what it looks like.
Shh.
Okay,
it's mine.
That scripture was talking about archers, and that that children are like arrows. Happy is the man whose quiver is full of them.
Yep.
It's saying that the children are a blessing.
I would agree with that. Absolutely. Having lived the life I've lived, that would be my only regret. I need more.
So, I think at this point, if you guys decided that you were going to try to take any conservative serious after the Nala, fiasco, at this point with Nala and Ashley, I just think that we just stop. If the joke's over, I don't think we should even acknowledge them at this point when they start bitching because they're not consistent. They're consistently inconsistent with their narrative. Okay,
but aren't we all to some degree?
Yeah, but we actually admit
it. Yeah. Okay. It's like I'm pegged as a conservative, and when you really find out about me, I'm not conservative. I'm not liberal. I mean, there's some things people say, "Oh my God, you're so conservative on," and other stances they'll go, "Oh my God, you're liberal on." I don't fall into that category of, what you read in conservatism all the way down. And I definitely don't fall into the liberal thinking all the way down. But I think most people's thinking they try to say, middle of the road. But, I have very strong beliefs, but you can't pin me in as a conservative. They'd kick me out as soon as they found out, "Oh, you're not a conservative." Same thing with liberals. So you're right. I mean, we admit it. We'll stand up for it. But I don't know if I had the opportunity to make a bunch of money pretending to be something. You never know. Maybe I would. Like this woman you're talking about. You said that she did some kind of show where she talked about
oh yeah, man,
secretly desiring Tyrone. Now,
I'll pull it up right now. It's on X.
Was that is it a show that she was on, or
no? Like it was a tweet that she tweeted.
Oh wow!
I'll find it. I know Nuke has it. Put it out there.
She's looking for the old BBC.
Yep, she was at least.
Well, that's pretty easy.
Well, it's that have your cake and eat it too mentality, that cognitive dissonance that, it's not just women that have this, right? It's a human thing. The more emotional you are, the more you're going to be stuck in that state of cognitive dissonance. So like women will say, "Oh, I want a monogamous man," but they really want the guy that all the other girls want, right? They want that social proof. And if they don't have it, they lose interest. And this happens all the time. This is something that the Red Pill talks about over and over again. But, people from all sides still try to obfuscate the truth, because they don't like the reality. So they live in that state of cognitive dissonance of choosing to believe two things. And sometimes two things can be true at the same time. But if you're not analyzing what the reality is and you're living in a should, would, could mentality, road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yep.
It's true. Last week we were talking about some of that stuff too, that we have when it comes to the relationships, we talk about communication and how important communication is between the man and the woman. You know, whoever you're with, communication is like one of the most important things to have. But we also forget to have communication with ourselves. Sometimes you really need to take that look and really talk with yourself of who you really are. I have an example of there was a guy I was working with, and this is going back to the late 90s, early 2000. Him and his wife both bought a computer, and each one of them got on there and they made different profiles. They started talking with different people on there. They ended up going off and cheating on each other with different people to the point where their marriage was almost over. And all the gossip going on in the shop. And so they finally got together and they talked and they said, you know, hey, it's best for our relationship we get rid of the computer. So they finally got rid of the computer. 5, 6, 7 years later, they got a computer again. Same thing happened. They got on there. They started talking with different people. They started going out, started cheating on each other. And same thing happened again. They were going to split up. They ended up getting back together. They got rid of the computer. A couple years later, again, he actually came to me and he said, I think my wife is cheating on me again. I think she's, this is the time smartphones come out. This has been, over 15 years or so. He said, I think she's cheating on me again. And I said, I think your guys' biggest problem is you guys don't communicate. And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, you communicate down here, all your problems. You wear it on your sleeve. You let everybody know. I mean, your nickname is Cyber because of all the cyber sex you have. I said, your wife, you're just like your wife. Your wife is just like you. You guys are made for each other, but you won't talk to each other about it. You guys each like having sex with other people. Why don't you just admit you're swingers? Just get into that lifestyle because that's what you're doing, except you're actually cheating on each other instead of embracing it and saying, hey, let's do this. Let's do it thoughtfully. And he looked at me kind of strange. He said, what do you mean? Like put keys in a bowl and they take them and go different places? I go, first of all, I don't think that ever happened. I think that was a TV thing. But, go, I mean, there's all kinds of different people that, some people, they in the same room. Some people just want to go watch. Some people don't want to watch their spouses, but they want to go in separate rooms. It's all there. But the main thing that these people all have in common is they communicate with each other. So, admit it. You guys, you're doing the same thing, but you have all this bad feelings towards each other. Why don't you talk to each other? So a lot of these people I see, they're swingers without being swingers.
Yeah, it goes back to the reason why I left organized religion, even though I'm still religious, is the whitewashed sepulchres full of dead man's bones, right? All these people want to be holier than thou and pretend to be holier than thou, but they're all human beings and they're all sinners, and they'll wear that on their sleeve, but they won't acknowledge their own behaviors. They'll try to hide it. Then they'll be doing all this fuck shit, and it'll actually be making it worse by them not being honest with themselves. That's why I say all the time, guys, stop lying to yourselves, right? Know what you want and go after it in an ethical way.
And
exactly. Let me just, for any of you that are out there thinking that like maybe it was Elon that pounced on her, this guy with all this money and power, and he abused that poor little girl. He just took that cookie from that cookie jar, that poor little Girl Scout. She had the Thin Mints, and he split. Never mind. No. She sought him out. Let's just get this real clear. She's like, I need to get Elon Musk's attention for a marriage proposal. Please, Greg. Greg responds, he's got a kid with a woman already. Seems unlikely to work out. And then she knows this. She's like, well, actually, he has 7 kids and goes through women pretty fast. This bitch she was trying to get the bag.
Target acquired.
Like this was planned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's been basically listening to these podcasts on how to achieve what she wants and manifest
This
it.
is what you call hoe tactics. Fellas, I'm telling you, we've been talking about these hoe tactics. This right there is a hoe tactic. This hoe had some tactics. She had a mission, and she went straight for that mission. Like, no joke. There was no way around it.
She's a master slut strategist.
You know what she read? She read First Sluttians 17.
And what does First Slutty in 17 say?
Oh man, I gotta show you. You know, I gotta show it if I'm gonna do that. I can't read it. I have to show it to them.
Okay, First Sluttians back in history for Christianity. Was that next to the country of Spurgtard? Yeah.
It was.
Is that where the Spurgtards all were?
Mm-hmm.
Is that where they kicked them? And I am a Spurgtard.
Hear me, Spurg. Yeah.
This is Spurgtardia. Okay, I remember.
Yeah. This chick went after a dude that she already knew had kids. So it's just wild. So did she ethically go after him?
No.
Did she do it in a Christian manner?
Not in a Christian manner.
Well, what would
She
be?
did,
What
she
would
did
be,
seem
Glenn?
to be pretty
let me
honest
ask,
with her intentions.
yeah, Glenn. Let me ask you. How would you define the Christian manner?
Well, you go to Jesus, and then you go like, Jesus, I want to bang her. She ain't my wife, so I'll marry her. Then I could bang her, and then you can't get mad at me, right? Cool.
But how could she do it in a more because we don't know exactly the ins and outs behind the scenes. I'm sure that Elon pays each of these women for each of the kids, anyways.
They got probably they got the Tesla child. All right, do they not realize like she's done? She never working a day in her life. I don't think she really worked the day in her life, anyways. But if she did, those days are over. She cashing out. Like she's retiring at 30-something, 31 years old or something like that.
Well, something you gotta recognize is that
I think one thing that could be unethical about it is she knows that Elon already has a lot of kids, and she has to know. I mean, the man does so much; he can't possibly be spending time with each of these kids. So if she's choosing to bring another child into the world, she's bringing another child into the world who's going to be fatherless. So I think that is unethical.
It's like all these women that get pregnant just so they can get a welfare check. She did a little better than that though.
She played the lottery and she won.
And she looked like she figured out how to win the lottery.
both of
I
them
mean,
are geniuses
I
on
mean,
it.
I can't hate her. She saw what she wanted and she went for it.
So the question is, do you think that she ever made him wear a rubber? I bet you she's the one that said, "Please no rubber. I like to feel you." Like she was. She had
we all love to hear that. Take that thing off, baby. We love to hear that. And if we're in the middle of it, we've lost all thinking with our normal mind usually.
like damn well, because she said she had a marriage proposal. She wasn't trying to get married. She already knew. Elon is not going to marry her. Elon blows through women too fast. Mm-hmm. She's just like, look, I'm fertile. Let me get this baby going, and I'll be good. She's like, why sell my butthole on OnlyFans? I could just get knocked up by Elon and still look like, a conservative.
I'll bet you.
You guys really hate her? I mean,
no.
We always say, I know, but I've always made that joke. If I could go back at knowing what I know as a man and go back in time and be born a woman, that I'd be a millionaire. And I mean, that's what she's done. She's used what she had. She knew what she could do.
She's a genius.
She went for it.
They're both consenting adults.
Yeah, she and it doesn't sound like she hid any of her plans if she's putting it out there on X, his platform.
Yeah. I mean,
she was still idealizing it, but she was honest. Like I said, she was mostly honest, it seemed, about her intentions. right? She was probably hoping for a marriage proposal, but she knew deep down inside that that wasn't really going to happen. So she's going to take what she can get, which is the genes of an incredibly smart, successful man. So that's the thing with you. So it's not just the money that she's getting. Guys tend to forget that. And he doesn't need to have looks. He just needs to have a good fucking brain and be good at business. Because somebody posted a quote from Coach Greg Adams, men are in love, women are in business. So she's seeing a businessman. Why do so many women want to bang these business chads? It doesn't matter if they're crypto guys or whatever it is. They got money and they're good at getting money. Same reason why they date drug dealers, because usually they're good at getting money. It's usually when the money drives up that they tend to look for greener pastures. And that sounds terrible when you say it like that, but that's the reality of human nature.
This is why we're calling this out, right? Because she is part of the conservative group that says this. This is her tweet that I'm reading. The only people who can destroy this toxic wave of feminism is women. Bring back family values. Make monogamy great again. It's okay to want to be a stay-at-home wife or mother, baby mama. Okay. Stop thinking you need to do the same thing as men. Femininity is beautiful. Well, it's kind of funny that, 6 years later, she's not bringing back family values. Monogamy, she ain't pro-monogamy. She's in a little harem. Well, she did get the stay-at-home mommy job. She got that one good.
Yeah, she planted that little seed of wife or mother.
Yes.
So once again, she planted her get out of jail free card. There's a ripcord. So she's already got this. No, that's what I actually said. So once again, if guys don't pay attention to what women are saying when they're saying it, this is how you're going to get rug pulled by them. She planted the exception in her original statement. So, and she idealized this thing, and she's kind of living up to that. But once again, this is what human nature actually is. And it's uncomfortable for people to admit this. And this is why you're calling it out. It's that hypocrisy and all these people pointing the finger, forgetting they got three pointing back at them. They're saying, oh, you're all fucking up. You're all sinners. You're all doing this. You're all doing that. And then they're being hypocrites to the very points they're making, while using manipulative language to enable it. And so it's like, okay, so what makes you different from all the sinners you're pointing the finger at? You're not being consistent, and now you're going to get called out for your lack of consistency, and it doesn't look good on you. But it does do all the guys in the quote manosphere a big favor, because you're flaunting all the human nature that we've been reporting for how many years now? And people keep saying, no, that's not true. That's not true. That's impossible.
Like
we are.
Like they are the ones that say like, oh, these red pill guys are all angry men and they're just making shit up, and it's who hurt you? We just
comes down to harems are okay as long as you can pay for the kids. That's basically what we're seeing here, is they're confirming through actions.
It just shows that conservatives, even the ones that talk about monogamy and nuclear family, you're not about it when it suits you. If the guy's not in the position to have multiple women financially, he can't afford it, whatever, he's going to be pushing monogamy, right? He's going to be against the harems. If the girl can't get with the guy that has all the money and that has the status, the clout, like Elon, she's about monogamy, but she really desires to be in that harem.
And what people do, they resort back to making their necessity a virtue.
Yeah. And it's like, let's just stop with the bullshit. Let's just stop with it. Because all the conservatives are doing at this point, without even calling her out for her bad behavior, according to their own standards, is they're trying to pull the wool over all you guys' eyes. Yeah. They're trying to make you play by a set of rules that they don't even live by.
Yep. And boils back to that the ancient tribal traditions, right? In micro to macro, it's just like we haven't. A lot of people like to think that human beings are logical, sane creatures. No, we're quite emotional and rational. It takes a lot of mental effort and calories to force ourselves to be logical, and it's a choice. That's why I remind guys all the time: your free will is a choice. If you don't think about your actions on a daily basis, what your habits are, if you're not managing your habits, you're an NPC. You've given up your free will, your actual choice, and just going along to get along. You're not really thinking rationally, you're thinking emotionally. So what makes you better than all the women you're criticizing? I've seen plenty of guys in the RP space that supposedly know this stuff acting like emotional bitches.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, do your best to live by your own convictions or your religious convictions, right? That's what I say. Try to do your best if that's what you want to do.
That's all we can do. In fact, we're all probably going to fall short of that.
We are. And just know that this is why I don't really like come at people unless they're really trying to come at me over dumb shit. I don't go around condemning people's lifestyle. I'm like, look, I believe what I believe. You can do what you want. Do you? I'm not here to force you to do anything. I'm not here to make you do anything, but I'm here to give you insight. If you ask me, what should I do? I'll give you I'll tell you what I would do.
Oh man, I am on the same page with you. I've had Christians come and ask me, okay, what are your beliefs on that? And I'll tell them, I will tell you what I believe, but it's not up for debate. I've debated it many times. I'm over that. If you want to know, I will tell you, and then, oh yeah, I want to know. And then as soon as I tell them, well, let's look at this or let's look, I've already been through all that. I'm not going to debate you. If you just want to know, I will tell you what I believe, but I've already been through it all. And, I just like Carl, he gets his fill with organized religion. I'm the same way, man. I mean, I love my Christian brothers, I do, but there's only so much of that that holier than thou righteousness that I can take. That guys I work with, we go to church and they're a completely different person. I'm the same person. If I might drop an F-bomb at work or at church because I'm the same person there.
I drop F-bombs at church all the time. I'm like,
and I see other guys though, they go there and all of a sudden they're pious and they're a different person, and it's just only so much I can take of that. Exactly. And
it's funny because the same guys because you have two different like groups here in the conservative group, right? You got the guys that come off as if they hate all women, like every woman is stupid, they're dumb, they need to be barefoot and pregnant in the house. If they work a part-time job, they're not a traditional woman. It's just like if they know how to read, goddamn it, they're just not a real traditional woman. They got those guys that literally sound like they just hate all women. Then you got these other guys that think they're patriarchal conservative men, but then are really being ruled by women because they run the happy wife, happy life thing. And then you got a small group of guys. I really think the small group of conservative Christian guys are the ones that are really doing it the way they say they're doing it. They have that patriarchal structure in their home. They're the head of the household. They have their wife, like they have the kids in line. Everything's straight. But I think that's probably out of the community, that conservative Christian community, 15 to 20% max.
And you're being and
I'm being
very liberal. You're being very liberal with that number. But
yeah.
I know what you're saying. Exactly. I would almost say 5%.
Know what? I was thinking single digits, but I don't know for sure.
I see a lot of error in what's being taught that turns men into simps in their relationship.
Oh yeah,
and they blame it on that. But there's a lot been out there that I mean, for many years, centuries, they've tried to portray. Look, they've tried to portray Yeshua as a
weak,
skinny, metrosexual, almost homosexual,
pretty much borderline bisexual, at least if anything. effeminate, man.
Yeah, so that's when they say, "Well, I want to be more like Jesus," and then they use that. I mean, that's what you get a lot of what you get when you. But I have a suit of armor that a little miniature one I keep above my bed. That's my. I look at that as the ideal man, and in that meaning is he's completely covered with armor. He's there that is there to protect. It's hardened outside. It's the steel, and then I call it the man of steel and velvet because inside that armor, you have that soft velvet that covers the skin. Now, you don't let people into that, but when you have your family, you are the comforting arms of your family. You have the protection to protect them and to take care of them. But also, when you do have with your wife, you have that side where you're going to show her the love that she needs and help build her up. So I keep that for myself. It's just a nice little reminder. I keep it right above my bed. The man of steel and velvet, and that's what we strive to be. You have a lot of these Christians that, like you said, they're taught. They're just taught wrong, and I think that's one of the great things that can be shown is we can teach men how to be men again, and that's not necessarily domineering on everything for sure. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't want a completely docile wife,
I don't want to control you at all. That's
right?
not my goal.
Hmm.
Okay, you do
I'm
what
not
you
trying.
want to
I'm
do.
not trying to debate a human that I have to dictate all their actions every day.
Yeah.
That sounds like a nightmare, right? Both for them and for me. Like if you had to tell somebody, another person, what to do every day, like, and they're coming to you like, hey, what do I do now? Hey, what do I do now? Hey, what do I do now? Because they don't know and they can't act autonomously. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Seriously, and what's crazy is it's like this. It's like these what kills me with these conservatives, right? You can just tell they're not authentic with what they're saying because they're you can tell it's a lip service.
Yeah.
Like
'Cause it's
any
that
guy,
idealism.
any conservative guy acts like he has never checked out another woman, other than his wife, is lying. Unless he's
Absolutely.
blind.
Yeah.
Unless he's blind. Okay, if he's blind, he ain't checking out nobody. He's
Oh,
filling them.
he's listening. I would guarantee he
No,
still
he's
hears
filling
a
them up.
beautiful woman's voice, and that piques his interest.
No, he's
Guaranteed.
filling them up. He's gonna accidentally. Oh, I can't. You know.
You know what the blind guy said when he walked past the fish market? Morning, ladies.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
But it comes back to that. A lot of guys are idealists, right?
Yeah.
And they want to try to virtue signal, right? People keep trying to act like the left invented virtue signaling. It's like, no, Christians were doing it long. Like, who do you think they learned it from? Right? I saw Christians doing this shit. Like I said, whitewashed sepulchres full of dead man's bones. And you see the same thing on the left. This is just a human behavior. And the tribalistic lines are all a way of us coping and excusing our own bullshit behavior. Right? If you don't call yourself out first for your fuck ups and own that shit, you lack accountability and you're going to do immoral things as a human being, no matter what you say.
Have you guys ever seen the show My Husband's Not Gay?
No. It sounds funny though.
Yeah, it reminds me of what Glenn's saying with the conservatives are like, oh yeah, I've never ever looked at another woman. It's about a Mormon men with same-sex attraction where they're attracted to men, but they choose to be in a marriage with their wife. I think there might have only been one episode before it got canceled, but it is so funny. Absolutely hilarious. My husband's not gay, I swear.
That's hilarious.
So check this out. All right. This is here's the white knights and the simps coming out with their capes on and shit. They're about to be heroic. I'm gonna read you one, okay? What up, legendary CEO? I see you in there, my friend. It goes, so this guy named Ian Carl says, okay, fine. I'll give one unpopular take on Ashley. If you conservatives shitting on her and you're anti-abortion and you have ever had sex out of wedlock, you're a hypocrite. Many people, you're like, maybe it was intentional. Maybe it wasn't intentional. Who knows? Who cares? She should she have had an abortion?
Yeah.
Half
Well,
of
and
them
there's
are
that. There's
cheating on
that. Real quick, that goes back to something that Andrew Wilson talked about when he was on one of the panels, and he was talking about the hypocrisy fallacy, because this is
Yeah.
where we have to be careful. This is why Vidar asked before, do you really hate this girl or not? And it's like, yeah, because if you're talking about it, it implies certain things, but the nuance is that we're not falling victim to the hypocrisy fallacy like this person is,
Yep.
where they're going like, well, because you're a hypocrite, now you calling this out is invalid. Right? That's the
Yep.
hypocrisy fallacy. It's the same thing with the apex fallacy. It's like, well, you're holding a standard that is not realistic. It's idealistic once again, and it obfuscates the truth.
So this is what I said. I'm like, listen, before you start acting all heroic and hoping to look all white knight-like in Elon's eyes, let me help you out, okay? And inform you. Sex is always intentional, okay? And if you choose to have sex out of wedlock, and that's against your belief and it's a sin, then you are doubly intentionally trying to have sex. I said, so whether you have sex with or without protection, you have intentions. Unless you're trying to say that Elon, well, we're not going to go there. So she wanted to get pregnant, regardless if she was married or not. It's very obvious what her intentions were. So now stop making yourself look stupid. Okay. Take off your cape. You're not going to be a hero. Because, if you do, but more power to you. I just don't save hoes. I'm not that heroic. He didn't like it. But no, like, okay. What do we think? I really don't care what you do with your life.
Right.
I really don't. I'm
let
too
me
busy trying to work on living my life the way that my belief is.
Let me ask you a question. You read what she had said before she did this, where she said she was conservative. Everything in there was great. I mean, what she said, a lot of it holds a lot of truth. But just like all of us, man, we can say the truth, and we break the truth. That doesn't make the truth not valid.
The difference is that we are not trying to force or guilt people to fall into our belief system or our worldview or our whatever, right? We are saying, hey, I can only give you my anecdotal experience and what I would do if I was in that situation, but I'm not you, and I would move differently because of my experiences and things that I know. So
is she still putting that type of value out there? That is she
well, I mean,
is she an influencer in that way? A
oh
conservative
yeah,
influencer?
she's a pretty big influencer.
Yeah, see, I don't know anything about her. So if she's an influencer and she's still doing that, but she hasn't addressed her own issues, yeah, that's hypocrisy, flat out. And not only is it hypocrisy, it's not only a hypocrisy, it shows that she is just using the conservatism as a female because there's such a desire to hear it that it's an easy market.
And this is a perfect example why people were calling out Nala Ray for the same thing. Right? They were calling her out for the same exact thing. And what we constantly see is that when it comes to conservative men, they are so blinded by the dogma that they've been taught that they refuse to see what's right in front of them. And
they're blinded by their idealism.
Yeah.
Sounds great. It's just like the same thing with the socialists and the communists. It sounds great on paper. In practice, human beings behave differently.
Yeah.
It's also, I think it's, like I said, she's probably sees the money there. It's look at Tim Pool. man, that guy was so liberal. And he started seeing the truth. And it wasn't, I think, until he realized where all of his money came from that he then became a conservative. But man, he would have so many liberal, unthinking people on his show trying to hold on to his liberal thoughts. And this is going back 8, 10 years now, until he became this conservative. But I thought I saw the transformation in him when he realized, hey, there's a lot of money to be made here. I saw another couple people on YouTube that as they started leaning towards conservatism, that they started making a lot of money. And they saw that there was such a need for, or a desire for people to hear it, that they jumped on that bandwagon. So there's a lot of, in my opinion, I think there's a lot of people out there that are using conservatism to make money. And sounds like she may be one of them if she's doing these other things and hasn't addressed it yet, still selling that influence as a conservative.
Well, there's no difference between a conservative woman and a liberal woman. They're both going to sell sex to get what they want.
Yeah, the labeling of the tribe is an obfuscation of the behavior. Like trying to attribute, oh, it's the other tribe that's bad. It's not our tribe doing it. Their tribe's doing it. It's the same thing. Like I said, it comes down to this bullshit tribalism that allowed us to survive for this long, but we've kind of outgrown a lot of its usefulness with how many people there are now, right? That's very easy to weaponize, the divisiveness, right?
Yep.
That's what you see, the Sun Tzu mentality. What's happening right now? How did the socialists and the communists gain so much power? Well, they soiled discord. They divide and conquer. They create doubt. Oh, the US ain't that great, is it? Oh, because some bad people do bad things, the whole thing is shit. That's throwing the baby out with the bathwater. That's a fallacy.
If people tend to do it, but you're right.
They don't throw out Elon's baby with the bathwater, though. That motherfucker is lucrative.
Sell the bathwater.
Yeah, they sell them. You know, what kills me, this is what kills me about this. We got 55 people in the chat, and I do not know how many likes we got. And I have not seen very many super chats. And we're dropping knowledge on these guys right now. And we're not, what is going on? What is going on?
Shall we ask the war dog? Wilbur, what's going
on? They don't even deserve to see what, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give them an opportunity to remedy this mess.
All right.
I'm going to give them an opportunity with a quick commercial break. All right, guys, you guys need to think about your behavior. All right.
All good.
Think about what you guys are doing right now. This is unacceptable. If you look like this and you happen to be struggling with women, and if you like bubble baths and some other gay stuff, it's probably because you use body wash like Metro by Resto Chesto, the most anti-masculine body wash in the world. So if you're tired of being confused for a homo, then I suggest that you use Tactical Soap from Grondike Soap Company. It's a game changer. That's right. A natural pheromone soap that enhances alpha status, masculinity, attractiveness, and charisma. Only Tactical Soap could take you from zero to a hero with the ladies. If you want to get successful with the ladies like yours truly, Glenn Lawrence, then I suggest that you order it right now and get your own Tactical Soap from Grondike Soap Company today. Grondike Soap Company cannot guarantee that you will get a brunette and a blonde in the hot tub with you like Glenn Lawrence, but you may get a redhead.
Muted.
That's pretty funny. You're muted, Glenn.
How about now? What should guys do?
There we go.
What should these guys do? What is the actionable advice that guys could take away from this story again? Because this is like a rerun. Anybody?
Well, actionable advice. I tell guys, stop lying to yourself. I say that all the time. Like the biggest problem that I've had in my life is when I'm lying to myself about the reality of the situation. Right. When I over idealize, that's why I try to be realistically idealistic now. Like, how can, like, yeah, I have a lot of idealistic ideas about how things should be done, but how could they actually be implemented? How could it be done ethically without stepping on other people's freedoms? Not the freedom to be an asshole and do destructive things. Once again, those aren't allowed. But what are the actual actions? Because, like, a good example is a lot of these conservatives that will discourage the harem, that engage in it, right? The soft harems, they're sitting there giving bad advice because they're telling guys to more or less ignore reality for what it actually is and live in a fantasy. And that's what the left is doing. That's what the right has been doing even before the left was. And I saw it growing up. I almost fell victim to it in many ways, right? Because I went from being very religious to being very progressive and had to find out, hey, the answer is probably somewhere in the middle. And I don't know what the truth in terms of like what is best and most moral is, other than looking at the results of my actions. When I do good things in life, I get good results and people love it. When I do bad things in life, people tend to not like it. They tend not to want to be around me. Why? Because you have to work. Teamwork makes the dream work. And people, you know, like Vidar said, the communication, and more importantly, correct communication and not being obfuscated by delusions, tends to make things work a lot better. When you actually look at, like, how do we actually fix this for ourselves and then for others? This goes back to Jordan Peterson's advice, and this advice has been given to time immemorial. Clean your own room before you try to change the world.
Yep. So this is what I think. All right. Let's just stop virtue signaling. Can we just cut the act? Let's just be honest. Okay. None of us are perfect. All right. And I don't have an issue with Ashley. And Elon has never come out and said that he was a conservative. All right. Elon, from what I believe, Elon was very liberal. I think the liberals have just gone so far left. Elon looks like a conservative with his harem. You know, and
I would agree with that.
What is sad is, what's really funny is that I've hosted, I think, 2 debates on my channel with biblical polygynists, right? And what the conservative movement really seems to be supporting is biblical polygyny, but they don't want to say it publicly. Because
that sounds bad.
Yes, it goes against that romantic one man, one woman, you know, that's what it seems like it goes against. And they don't want to, they have to toe the line. And that's a talking point for them. But really, if you have the money, if you have the status, if you have the ability to, it's all right. We're just going to look the other way. Do your thing, pimping, you know, have 4 wives, as long as they just not crying and whining about you not taking care of the kid. Okay. Just make sure you just handle your business. That's really what there seems to be saying, because there's been no backlash about Elon or even this chick. Like Steven Crowder's wife, you know, good conservative Christian girl, you know, poor victim. She sent congratulations to Ashley Sinclair and Elon Musk, right?
Yeah. Well, it comes down to some contextual differences. So why are they bringing Elon on board, even though he's very progressive with his relationship style, right? Well, it's because he's pro-family, right? That's the key thing. Mm-hmm. He's for having kids. But what do a lot of leftists and a lot of people that believe the world is doomed, what are they doing? They're not having kids. Or they're waiting until they can be more financially responsible, but yet they keep living these lives that make it where they can't have kids. So that's a problem. We're in a population crisis, and Elon talks about this. This is why he's having plenty of kids, because not enough people are having children. Not even talking about like raising good children, right? We're not even having children anymore. So it's going to be a problem in the next 50 years where we're not going to have enough people in the workforce. We're not going to have enough burger flippers and fry, cooks to actually do the work.
Though we got AI, we got these humanoids coming.
Exactly. So that's
And the sex robots for you
getting
sexless
tinfoil
guys.
hat, and don't need to go there, but there's a lot of that's a whole nother conversation about how they've been encouraging people to not procreate, to not go forth and multiply, right?
Mhm.
And this is why they're bringing Elon on board, is because he's actually pro-family and encouraging other people, even if they don't agree with what he's doing or how he's doing it, they agree with the fact that he's actually doing it because they recognize that truth that we need to be going forth and multiplying, because if we don't, we can't sustain the machine.
Yeah. Yep. So it's like, the best thing that anybody could do in this point is step one. One, assume that all women are promiscuous and they're hoes. Okay, until proven otherwise. Even your mama is a hoe until proven otherwise.
Excuse me.
HUDs, we already know your mother's a hoe. Okay, come on. Remember that one time?
I don't want to talk about that one time. And I'll never forgive you for that one time.
I know she hasn't forgot about me either. Anyways, moving right along. I'm HUD's daddy.
Oh, I thought that there was a loophole that you used.
Well,
Oh Lord,
he didn't
Doesn't
know.
it rhyme with loophole?
It does. He didn't know that I did that to his mom, though.
Oh.
rip.
The poop hole loophole? You serious?
Yep. He asked Vidar earlier if he knew what it was. Vidar doesn't know.
Oh, now I get
Now,
what
now,
you're
okay,
talking
now
about.
Vidar got it. Okay, here we
Now,
go.
yeah. Oh, of course, we tried to test drive everything.
There you have it.
Going back to that.
So here's the thing. If you just assume that all women are promiscuous, even if they're Bible toting, conservative thoughts, just assume that they're a hoe. It does,
Yeah, they're all capable. They're only human. They're all capable of doing all the just like all men are capable of being abusive assholes. All women are capable of being abusive assholes too.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So what you got to understand is you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, but a hoe can turn herself into a housewife if she really wants it. That's the key
Especially for a
difference,
guy
is
with
that you're
a-
not trying to make a girl do something. You have to pick the girl that actually wants to do what you need her to do.
Yeah. And you know what? Let me tell you something. All of us are fucking failures at doing what we want to achieve to do, or we have failed in the process. And and we will fail tomorrow at something too, that we say that we push or we promote or we want guys to do, or we encourage guys to do. There's something that we will fail at doing, and that's okay. As long as we're at least telling you guys this. I'm not telling anybody to live like me. I'm not telling anybody to be like me. Okay? What I'm telling you guys is to do better than me, for one, and two, do what's right.
We always have that
I like
choice
that.
between do what is right or what is easy.
Yeah. I like that. One of the guys that I really follow and that taught me a lot in this whole thing, he used to call himself a triumphant failure. And overall, he was a super success and triumphant. But even in his own life, like he said, there was those failures that he knew that he had in his own flaws. I always thought that was a great thing. When I look up to him so much, and he'd say, "Well, I'm a triumphant failure." So,
But I think I know what church they all go to. I think I know the priest that they go give confession to.
Yeah, show that.
All right. I'm gonna show you guys. I know what you'll learn. Here we go. Oh, it's not that one. It is, hold on, real quick. Let me get it.
Listen up, Junior Vikings.
This is, you gotta go to this priest if you guys want to see what he sees, because get with one of these like conservative thoughts, you definitely need to go to this guy, because this guy has them all. Here we go.
Okay, here we go. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
When was your last confession, my dear?
Well, I'm a newly converted Catholic. So technically, this is my first confession ever. And I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit nervous, Father.
Well, congratulations. And you have nothing to be nervous about.
Jesus is pretty forgiving, right?
Very forgiving. He died for all your sins.
Well, I just feel like I've done a lot of things that I just can't imagine being forgiven for. But I'm new to this, so I don't
Trust
know.
me, if you confess with your sins, the Lord shall forgive.
I was at the public pool, like me and my friends went to every summer. I was in the boys' bathroom and I was sticking nails to the bottom of Tommy Jones's shoes. And the lifeguard walked in and caught me. He made me leave the boys' bathroom. And I was so angry because I never got to finish sticking the nail through Tommy's left shoe. I only got his right shoe. And that just, I hate leaving things unfinished. So later, me and my friends were sitting at the snack bar, and I waited till the perfect moment when everybody was made to get out of the pool because there was thunder. And I pulled down Billy's pants in front of everyone and exposed his nakedness. And for the rest of the summer, everybody called him Little Willie Billy, Little Willie Billy. And I felt so bad about it because he actually was a pretty nice guy. And to be fair, I wasn't supposed to be in the boys' bathroom at all. So anywho, when I was 15, I was jerking off Little Willie Billy. Remember him? Well, ironically, 7 years can do a lot to a boy because he now had a freakishly large penis. Anywho, before I could get the job done, a police officer comes up and knocks on the window, scares half to death. And I was just so afraid of getting in trouble that I told a lie to that police officer when he thought we were doing something we shouldn't be doing between boys and girls. I told him that that wasn't right at all, that I had dropped my contact lens and I was looking for it inside Tommy's pants. Billy's pants. Billy's pants. I always get the boys' names mixed up. Sorry. But I was looking for it inside Billy's pants.
Did you find your contact lens?
No. That was the lie, so that I didn't get in trouble for jerking him off, because I knew that if I got in trouble again, that I was going to have to go back to the special hospital.
And that's all the sins, right? All the sins.
Last one right now. Last one.
There's more. Okay.
On my way in here to confession, actually, this one's a little tough. Sorry, but I swear we're all done after this.
Okay.
So I've been feeling a little bit insecure about myself lately because I've gained about half a pound and my favorite skinny jeans are just a little bit tight on me. So I've been needing, like a good old ego boost. What girl doesn't, right? So I decided not to wear panties today, and I was going to bend over and flash someone randomly. I just really get off on being idolized by men. Anyways, I was running late, didn't have time to carry out my plan on the way here, but lucky for me, but kind of maybe unlucky for you, there was another priest standing out here in the parish on my way in.
Father John?
Yeah, you might want to check on him after we're done here, because I pretended to drop my pen right in front of him, did the whole wazoo flash right in the face. And let me tell you, the color on his face did not look natural when I stood back up. He was grabbing his chest, fell to the floor really, really fast. I don't know if it was a heart attack or if he's just, inexperienced. I heard you priests don't get any action under the cloth, if you know what I mean. Kind of made it a little more exciting for me, though. I mean, imagine him. He's never seen something like that before. Not from a baddie like me. You know what I mean?
Why does Father John always get these? Always, every time. He's out there right now laying down. You left him there?
Yeah. I told you we're wrapping it up. So, what do I
You're
have
just
to
telling
do?
me now?
Yes, we're done. It's fine. Father.
Take a peek real quick and see what you're working with. Oh, yeah, he's definitely dead.
Are you there? Father, aren't I supposed to do some Hail Marys or something?
Solid stuff.
I mean, there's a whole lot more. Just go to my channel. You guys can look at them. They're in the comedy playlist. You've seen the one.
There's a few hammers in that collection.
There are definitely some, yeah. Well,
I didn't see the whale section.
yeah, because we didn't do whales. See, this priest doesn't allow whales in his church.
Just pigs.
No, not even pigs, just horse, actually.
Oh, that's I misread that.
Yeah.
It was horse, not hogs.
It was whores,
Hogs.
not hogs, with a W.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You guys never went hogging?
Not
I'm all about whale wars. That was my favorite thing.
No, wars is good. I mean, powered heart. There's something to be said for powered harpoon guns.
No, yeah. You know what it said? You said it says that you do not respect your penis.
No,
You just stick your penis in anything.
Now, it's opposite. You respect it enough that you're going to blow through this as fast as possible.
No. See, beauty is next to godliness. Ugly is all about the devil. So you know what? We don't stick our dick in devil.
Well, there's many years ago, there's this thing where you get so horny that women can smell it on you. They just, as soon as you go to talk to a pretty woman, they want nothing to do with you. And you'd go to a nightclub and they could just sense, I guess, your thirstiness. So we used to have this thing that when you'd get in that situation, you'd go hogging. And you'd find one of these large women that needed some loving, and you'd pick up on them, take them out for a night, and then, wow, immediately the curse was broken, and women would talk to you again. So that was called going hogging.
And lose all self-respect in the process.
I don't know, man. I did the same thing in college. I didn't hate myself. I mean, sometimes the day after I was like, God, I can't do that again. But other than that, Butter's absolutely right. It would break the curse.
Naomi, don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. Okay. Don't listen to him.
Well, this goes back to
you guys haven't had a tank division in your soft harem. You're missing out.
I was going to say, this goes back to, it's like we're human beings and we all do make mistakes. The thing is that winners learn from their mistakes, like truly learn. They analyze, they try to figure out what they did wrong. Not just, it's like using the stove example. Like they don't just, I burned myself, I'm never doing that again. Like that's when you can learn some more nuanced things. Like, hey, if I lick my finger a little bit, I can actually touch the hot stove, right? Just as a rudimentary example of how to think outside the box, right? There isn't just two extremes, not touching the stove or touching the stove. Sometimes you might need to get burned a little bit and use some protection, right? So if you think about that, that's what it comes down to. That's what separates the winners from the losers. The winners really analyze their mistakes, try to come up with better tactics and techniques to do what they want in life. Whereas losers will just sit there and blame others, blame circumstance, make excuses, rather than recognizing the reasons why they can't succeed and doing what they can to overcome that.
Touch the stove instead of porking a hog. I agree. I'd rather burn myself than
Well, it was kind of a more reference. If you're gonna do that, wrap it up, boys, wrap it up.
Yeah, you don't want to be burning. Like I'm not even. I would
got kind of layer of protection.
They shouldn't be so concerned with kids. You should be more concerned with your dick burning later on with these conservative thoughts. And here's the sad thing with these conservative thoughts, Thor. I trust hoes so much more than these trad cons. I'm like a hoe's a hoe, and I'm like I know what to expect from her.
Every woman has a secret code, and if you can get to the hoe code. Let me tell you something. Once you can get there, it's great. It's wonderful. You're not hearing me talk about it in my life, but
I don't even complain about hoes. I'm like, oh, look at that hoe. She's doing hoe stuff. There she hoe again. Hi ho. It's the conservatives that that are shaming the hoes, right? And then they're like, okay, cool, shame the hoes. That's your thing. I believe you. Cool. It's actually I agree with you. It'd be better if there were women less hoeing. In this world because, kids, family, whatever, all that stuff. Okay, cool. But then it's the ones that are yelling at the hoes are the real hoes. They're worse than the hoes. The hoes let you know that they're hoes. These ones are pretending not to be hoes, only to be the hoes that leave you high and dry and broke.
Yeah, there's an old movie quote that my father used to like to quote all the time is, "Methink the lady doth protest too much."
Yeah, it's Shakespeare, but yes, there's there was this old saying as so what when you parties or nightclubs, there was a saying of what is a blonde's mating call, and that is, "Oh, I'm so drunk." And what is a brunette's mating call? Thank God that blonde bitch left.
So, all right.
In other words, that the one that's out there hoeing, the guys, I mean, even in that joke, the blonde girl, the one that's out there hoeing, getting all the attention, you know's a hoe, somebody takes her home. The one that's presenting herself all conservative. Oh, I'm so glad that hoe's gone. Yeah. It's
The hoe, you just
you
scared
said it
off the
right.
hoe, Naomi. Why'd you
just
scare off the stripper hoe that we had here? Okay. She's like, let's all talking about hoes, but he's sitting next to an old Viking stripper.
What you'd said is I think you said all women are hoes.
Yeah,
Well,
just assume that
all the women have potential to be one. They're the gatekeepers of sex. I mean, they really are, and they need to be. When we have these women that are just free and easy, society falters a little bit. And when women are the gatekeepers, I maybe it's just my generation. I know that my generation, we desired nothing but like the girls are today, just very open and freely sexual. The women from my generation had very high slut protection mechanism. They had to you had to really work to get some from them. Today I see with this younger generation, this OnlyFans generation, I see it with my boys. They hate women like that. They can't stand them. They want nothing to do with them, and that's the majority that they're running into. So they look more for the more virtuous women. But the bottom line is, yes, everybody has that potential to be a whore, to be a hoe. I mean, you have that potential, and that is true. You've got to watch it with any woman. Treat any woman that way, especially today. Look, if you have a woman that is out in the workplace and she's working around other men and she's good looking, guys are going to be hitting on her. Same thing with these women that want to go out with girls in the nightclub. I mean, the only reason for going to go out, they're going to be being hit on by guys. That's the whole point of that. So you definitely have to watch and treat them if the potential is there, for sure. Just like a woman, and she's in a relationship with you, she's going to be watching your potential to mess around, because our potential is definitely there too.
Arctic, I'm not even home, okay? I'm at Thor's house right now. Stop trying to roast me. My room is clean. Damn you. And Naomi, when you say you're a hoe in spirit and other ways, I suppose, never mind. You can come to confession. You need to just come to confession. Father Glenn will hear all of your,
Well, what Naomi's really saying there in Womanese, more or less, is that, yeah, my man's doing good, so I'm loyal to him, right? I picked a winner and he's still killing it, right? The only time that's going to change, and Christian guys and other guys that are married for many years find this out the hard way all the time, as soon as they fuck up, the clock starts ticking. Some guys got a longer clock, some guys got a shorter clock. And when she gets sick of your shit, right, she starts planning her exit strategy. And then one day, boom, springs it on you.
Surprise, motherfucker.
And now they're going, what the hell happened? I thought she was good. And then she goes off and she starts hoeing around. She starts letting loose, being all pent up, especially these good Christian girls when they get out of those relationships, you have any idea how many of them I encountered in like the BDSM scene, how many times they had guys that they didn't want to do that stuff. So they end up sneaking off to do it without them, but they're in a loyal relationship, right? No, they wanted to be naughty and their guy wouldn't be naughty with them. So they fucked up. So once again, like, the medium is the message, and a lot of guys want to ignore the message. Stop lying to yourself.
As the Roman historian Tacitus once wrote, Sluttians declares all women are 304s according to the studies furnished by the Department of Hoology.
Yep. Not all women are hoes, but all women are capable of being hoes. Depends on the circumstance.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I'd agree with that.
Yep. So
and yeah, you were talking about these women that that you've met in the BDSM scene. That goes back to even what we're talking about when you need to treat all women, or that they are at least potential 304s, is that potential is there, and communication is number one. If your woman is coming to you and showing desire in the BDSM, and you're ignoring that, you're a fool. Even if you aren't into it, well, maybe you need to learn about it. Just like you should expect her that if there's something you're into, that maybe she should look into that more, because that will drive people later on. Things start happening and the opportunities arise and things will happen.
I love what XY is saying here. He's like, women are women, bruh. Stop treating them based on their actions. That be following her lead. Your job is to lead her to the outcome you want to achieve.
Well
But
said.
you can only lead her as long as she desires to fall into your frame and take your leadership.
Yep.
So there's that other part that you gotta be the guy that she wants to let her be her leader.
That's right. He said some things earlier too that I wanted to mention. He was talking about that are all of our thoughts that, just to summarize, he was talking about all of our thoughts and our beliefs are going to be overridden by our basic urges, nature's urges, and he was dead on that one also, for sure.
I mean, with 40%, and then it's alleged that 40% of pastors have either had an emotional affair or a physical affair or both. And it's like, and they're the ones that are telling you to be monogamous, say stay away from infidelity. But it seems like a good portion of them, at least 60% of them, are not, or they're lying. But just off of what we know, 40% of them are. They're human too.
Oh, absolutely.
Here's the thing: does it make us wrong? Let's say this: does it make us wrong to promote a thing, but fail to live up to that thing?
Well, that depends on the thing, right? This goes back to the hypocrisy fallacy, right? Is that just because you're a hypocrite doesn't mean that what you're saying isn't valid.
Exactly.
Like Andrew Wilson saying don't smoke, don't drink, it doesn't necessarily say that, but he's like you. He's not trying to tell other people, yeah, you should smoke and drink like me. He's saying, yeah, these are vices and maybe you shouldn't do them, right? Maybe you should make your own decision based on it and stop trying to put it on other people, right? Because that's the hypocrisy fallacy. Now, when it comes to what these Christian conservative preachers are preaching, being hypocritical, that's a symptom of the bigger problem. And that is the lifestyle they promote and the idealism they promote does not match the reality. And that's the issue. They're promoting a lifestyle that they not only don't practice themselves, most of the people they're telling it to don't practice themselves. So it's a bunch of fucking people self-validating for nothing.
Yep.
And there are some good Christians in there. Don't get it twisted. There's plenty of good Christians out there that do live these good lives. But for every one that does this, there's at least another one that doesn't. And they'll lie and say that they do.
You know what? King Solomon once wrote in Ecclesiastes, I found one out of 10,000 men to be righteous. I didn't find not one woman. Look, so we already know that the ones that you're just mentioning, like those Christian guys that are living in life, maybe 1 out of 10,000, you know?
Yeah. You know, you're saying
Even
40,
their
40
women are not righteous, though.
yeah, you're saying 40% of pastors, and that says a lot for the 60%, is having what would be considered pastoring a church for a few years. Let me tell you, women find power very attractive, and
Yep.
being in a position of being a pastor, it is a powerful position, and especially when you get into counseling and one-on-one counseling. To put it in modern vernacular, you get pussy thrown at you. I mean, just thrown at you, and to be able to withstand that takes a lot. So,
And this is what I say, you know, if any of the guys that are complaining about the women today, because a lot of us, you know, we hear it, right? I make fun of them, you know, and I make fun of the guys too. But here's the problem, and this is what we have to acknowledge: the women that we have today are the women that we created.
Yeah, you created the circumstance.
We encourage.
let me tell you, that is so true. In fact, you know, when we're talking about religion and we talk about some of the things I'm manifesting and you know, getting very focused on what we want, I, you know, and God coming through. Let me just tell you my circumstance. And you're saying we have the woman we created. It is true. In fact, you know, when I look at our God, sometimes I look at him as like this older guy who really tries to help. Because when I found my woman, I really wanted to settle down. So I prayed and I gave God a list of what I wanted. Number one, I wanted her to be beautiful. Number two, I wanted her to be smart. And number three, I wanted her to be bi. And so I meet this woman, and she is the absolute, to this day, she's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. I may be shallow Hal when it comes to that, but she just does it for me. Number two, she is the absolute smartest woman that I've ever met in my life. We can converse with her. She's my best friend. She's the one that we can think things through. She's super intelligent. Like I said, smartest woman I've ever met. And number three, she's bipolar, not bisexual, but you know, at least God tried. You got to be specific when you
didn't
ask.
be you weren't specific enough with him, were you?
So there's some information there. You got to be more specific.
Yeah.
But no, what you're saying is true. We've been together. Like I was reading Naomi on here. She's been together 17. 17 years. She's been with him when they didn't have money. That is one of the things too. If you get together when you're young enough and you build your life together, that is important. And I think you nailed it when you said we have the women in our lives of what we've built, what we've manifested. And I think it works both ways too.
Yep. That's that personal accountability that's lacking in society today.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm messaging somebody. I'm fucking shit up now. So you guys, Huds, what do you got to say? You grew up Catholic.
I actually grew up Episcopal, and then I went to Catholic high school. What to say on what? What specifically are we really talking about?
Like you grew up in the Catholic schools where they all like, you know, strict and shit. Did you go to confession? And
no, actually, because I grew up Episcopal, you didn't have to partake in confession. So like most of the kids were Catholic, so they did, but I never did. I don't think I've ever done a confession before.
You know what? I know a priest.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be funny if we did another episode, something like that again. But yeah, no. I think that everything in life has just gotten so warped, and the fact that we have so many like unfaithful leaders within the church, it makes it hard for me to take everything so seriously. And so that's why for me, I've just kind of, I don't know, like whatever would be like more like the agnostic approach, like just do what's right in life and try and do better than like try and give more than you receive. It's just kind of how I've lived my life. And that's how, by living that, I don't know if that's was a form of manifesting, but that's how I ended up with my girl. And she's the greatest thing in the world. I never was expecting to actually be with somebody who like graciously cooks, cleans, does all the laundry, does everything. And like it's just it's perfect. It's perfect once you what you were saying earlier, Vidar, we got to communicate with ourselves, because then once we figure that out with ourselves, then we can effectively communicate with others, and then we can start to live really, really beautiful lives.
Yep, I agree. You know, I'm gonna tell you, this is why I know that they're going to the same priest. All right, because this is what the priest is telling, like, even guys. All right, this is the priest that they go to.
Our Father, give me France and
Somebody mumbling? Somebody say something?
Hello, Father.
Oh, yes.
Forgive me for I have sinned.
When was your last confession?
I never have. So,
Okay. What would you like to confess today, son?
so while I was going to school, I had this friend.
Mhm.
She got a little friendly, extra friendly.
Extra friendly.
Yeah.
Well, it's always good to have friends being friendly.
Maybe not in this way.
What way?
The carnal way. The way shouldn't be doing, I don't think.
You don't think, or you know?
I mean, I'm still learning. So I don't think so, but I don't know.
Well, tell me what you did.
Well, things were happening. She was very loud, and there may have been some squirting,
Okay.
and things that were said.
Like what? What was said?
Well, oh God, oh God,
While she was squirting?
yes.
Never experienced that before. Tell me more.
It's fun, but I don't
Yes.
think that it was right.
Hmm.
Well,
How long did this last? How many times did you do this?
it depends. I mean, at my place or hers?
You did it more than once?
Yeah.
And she did the same thing?
Yeah.
Splash.
Multiple.
Multiple. So let me see if I got this right. You know what? You came in here to confess about pleasing a woman multiple times to the point where she is squirting to a man that has never experienced it. Is that what you did?
A little bit. Sorry, Father.
Oh, you start. You know what? Here's your penance. 100 Our Fathers. And then go take your little ass over there and you do that again and again and again, 10 more times. I want her super soaker wet. I want your bed like a sponge. Do you understand me? Because you know what? I can never experience it. I don't know what it's like. Okay? I don't even know. I can't even fathom it. I don't even know what it looks like. Now get the fuck out of here. Go. Get out. You're blessed.
I'll go, but I forgot to tell you about the three-way thing. I'll be back.
Threesomes?
Maybe.
I think that's the church that they go to.
Makes sense.
I think that's the church that they go to. What do you think, Thor? I think Thor's about to change religions now. No, I'm kidding. All right, let's go ahead. Final thoughts. Let's get this wrapped up, like a condom. We'll start with Vidar. Final thoughts on this topic?
Man, we had a lot of different things, but if we go back to the original, bless her heart. She's doing what I would probably do if I was a woman, right or wrong. She's making money for herself, and I just think maybe she's a little wrong using a platform, saying one thing yet doing another. But she was able to hook a guy in and make some money with him. It is what it is. So I know we each need to watch for that in our lives. If you've got money or power, and there are women that will do that out there.
Yep. HUDs.
Yes, sir. So my final thoughts on this, guys, stop feeding into these content creators, these fake conservatives, these fake tribe cons, these fake whatever. There's so many out of them are out there today. So many people that are grifting, especially with some of these women. They do it because they know that they're attractive, and that's going to get them views. Really, really pay attention to the messages that are being said. I'm sure there's a lot of great women out there to listen to, but a lot of them, there just seems to be more that are just grifters in the space. So just make sure that you're spending your time and your money on people that are actually truly aligned with your values, and stop doing this. It's essentially, you're just, when you consume a lot of this media and all that, you're essentially it's essentially like OnlyFans, except without the actual porn. You're a simp in a different way.
Fact.
Well said.
Fact. Viking.
Yep, I agree with HUDs on that. Is that it don't feed into the churn, right? That's the churn. When you start giving your attention to people who do not deserve it, you're misspending it. You're not acting according, once again, how to really start making money. Well, stop spending as much. Most people don't have an income problem in the United States. They have a spending problem, right? So the same thing with their attention. It's the same thing as their wallet. A lot of people have an attention spending problem. They don't have, like, I play a video game, right? I've been kind of taking some of my own advice and kind of decompressing and having some fun, because I've had nose to the grindstone for so long. And I hear a lot of these people come in, they're playing a video game for fun, but they're constantly complaining about all the things about the game they have to do to play the game. And it's just like, and some of them start buying things in game to save that time. It's just like, so you're paying to play the game, and then you're paying not to play the game. What are you doing with your life? It doesn't make any sense to me, right? I'm sitting there just having a good time. But that's the thing, is that people's perception is wrong. Their attention is focused on the wrong things. Whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. And a lot of people just choose to believe they can't get what they want in life. I choose, and I recommend other people try to do this, not as a form of advice, but I found success when I stopped trying to build my life on idealism and what should, would, could, and started building my life based on truth and what I really wanted, and was honest with myself and my partner. That dreaded word, Glenn's cringing. He said partner.
You're gay.
But when you say that, right, when that's the key thing, right? I needed to communicate with myself first and her, and that's how I started getting results, because I started building my life around truth and facts, things that were measurable, where I could both measure the action and the reaction. Because the road to hell is paved with good intentions. A lot of these people on the left and the right, they believe, oh, if I do bad actions, but it leads to good results, that's a good thing, right? That's the ends justify the means mentality. And that's when you commit atrocities. So you need to understand both the means and the result and view it from a moral lens. Now, your morals might be, a lot of people get gray with, oh, there's no answers. We have answers. We have truth. You can see if your outcomes are negative or positive, not just for yourself, but for other people. And that's what you need to balance. You need to pay attention, lighten self-interest. I cannot help others as well as I can unless I help myself first.
Absolutely. Thor.
Son,
Final
I'll tell
thoughts?
you, on this particular
Yep.
issue. What they're doing together, this is going to be a different take on it. What they're doing together, they're very smart people. What they're doing together will actually do more for children than anything else you will hear this year. Absolutely guarantee that. What do I mean by that? Well, it's going to do more to uplift them. It's going to do more to inspire people to be better versions of themselves so they can emulate these people as heroes in their own culture. I mean, why would conservatives be all attaching to Elon Musk? Well, look what he's accomplished. Look at what he has as trophies out in front. He is living the dream most men want to, and most men wish they could. And most women look at her and go, my God, look at what he has done. And every other woman of any note is going to want to be with him. And so I need to find a guy on that caliber. That is our nature. That is what we do. And so because of that, those children are going to get the finest mentor of just about anybody outside of the original mentor, which was Jesus Christ. Now, I'll say that and people get kind of weird, but I mean, I think what he's doing is incredibly smart, and what she's doing is incredibly smart too. And the children will benefit because of the ripples of what they are stating together and having these. Now, that's setting relationship stuff aside, whether it's polygyny or whether it's monogamy, that's setting it aside. He's going to raise the bar on what he's done. And that's a different way to look at it, but I think that's the right way to look at it. Now,
well, it's actually
wrong.
What it comes down to is it's going back to marriages not being, or relationships or people coming together to procreate. It's not based off of a I'm in love thing. It's based off of
pragmatism.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right there. And I would recommend, if you're interested in this stuff, a few ways to get into it. I would recommend Rollo Tomasi's book, The Rational Male. It's going to lay out some foundational elements of how people behave in this situation and in monogamous situations with each other and how they project it onto each other as well. That's there's some crucial knowledge that you have to have there. Yes, people's made fun of it. Those red pill guys do this, they do that, because in some ways it's salacious, so it draws attention. I would also recommend the Friedrich Nietzsche's books, because he writes a very interesting series of books. The one that starts with Beyond Good and Evil. Mm-hmm. It talks a lot about why people prescribe to assigning virtues to elements of behavior. And it's about power and control. That's interesting. Even in one's own life, you assign virtues to yourself. So that's a really hard read for a lot of people, but you should read it and at least consider it. And then, of course, if that works out well for you, I would recommend anything written by Aaron Clary when it comes to pragmatism in your own life. I'd recommend anything that's written by Myron and Gaines. And of course, I would recommend, if you really want to go into the Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos phenomena, alpha, beta, and destroy it, go into a dominant
masculine presence. I was going to say, if you want to make moves like Elon, if you want to have 4 baby mamas and 13 kids, then you need to read Dominant Masculine Presence, because Bezos, Elon, those guys have, besides money and status,
don't forget
they
Trump.
do have a dominant masculine presence.
Don't forget Trump. Talk about prime example, a snapshot of dominant masculine presence. I just got shot through the ear. I stand up and say, fight, fight, fight.
I was going to think about when you said, I'm grab a woman by the pussy.
Same thing.
I mean, that's more dominant than getting shot.
But it's not domineering. It's a very different thing. What he expresses and projects is a vibe like no other. If you've actually seen him in person, or not, but every one of these guys, whether it's Elon, whether it's Trump, whether it's you pick the flavor of even fake conservative. Mm-hmm. You pick Bezos, top beta pick of.
He wanted Dirty Sanchez.
However, he turned that into his dominant masculine presence, and it's doing wonders for him. So how is it that this guy that everybody calls a supreme beta and this guy everybody calls a supreme alpha, how are they achieving the same things? Go read A Dominant Masculine Presence. I'll tell you this. I know the narrator. Scope.
Yeah. I knew the first narrator too. I would say this, I'm going to wrap this up by saying this. Breaking news. The conservative camp just can't stop taking L's. If you guys know this lady on Twitter, Harmonized Grace, she's a big TradCon woman. Well, popular trad wife, Twitter account has been exposed to be a complete fraud. That's right, gentlemen, complete fraud. Harmonized Grace told people she had 14 children and was married to a man who owned a construction company. But it appears she's actually, she's childless.
Wait, hold on. How does this make logical sense? It says 8:02 p.m. on today. That hasn't happened yet.
It has, because they were talking about it last night. I'm
just saying the date's wrong. This is future data.
I know. This is Legion of Men actually doesn't live in the States. Remember that.
He's past the date line.
He lives in the future.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense then.
She's actually a childless, obese, single woman living with her parents. This is her.
Solid.
The conservative, the leading conservative on Twitter, the trad wife, is not even a trad wife. Yeah. So
she's catfishing as a trad wife.
Yep. It's funny. It's ironic, right? Because that's what a lot of the red pill guys get accused of. Oh, this guy, they keep referring to like the guys that are in like the black pill space and whatnot that turned out to be living in their mom's basement. And they're telling guys like, oh, well, I can't get on camera because I'll get doxxed then and blah, blah, blah. And it turns out, you just don't want to be exposed for being an old loser that's getting other younger men in there and using them as a cope strategy to make yourself feel better about your shitty life. And ironic that, we got women on the conservative side doing the same thing. Shocking.
yeah.
Was she grifting for money?
Oh yeah, she was making money off her Twitter.
Okay.
Let me just say this. I like what Tadakis wrote right here. He said, but Jesus said to him, why do you call me good? No one is good except God alone. Mark 10:18. And I live by that. I never tell you guys I'm good. I'm not a good person. Okay. I strive to be a good person. I am not good. Okay. I'm with the dogs.
People remind me I'm a loud asshole all the time.
Yep. So, and you know what? The TradCons are putting con artists in the TradCon these days. It seems like, they just keep on taking L's. They just take L's, But listen, if you're married, love your wife. Wives, respect your husbands. Just do the right thing. Do right by each other, or just become a statistic. All right, because you have two choices.
The choice is yours,
or become a statistic. All right,
choose to live a better life or become a statistic. Yep,
simple as that. We didn't do any. Oh, we got a super chat. I think we got one. Siege D comes in with $1.09 super chat. Go support to Siege's single mommy stripper fundraiser. I don't have that video on this system, Siege, or I would totally play it. Yes, we have a single mommy stripper fund over on my channel for Siege. He's trying to get these single stripper mommies off the pole, one hoe at a time. He teaches them home ec and stuff. So yes, support the only thing for the hoes. But with that said, is there like an outro or something? Like, you guys?
Yeah, we have Love's outro. Should be in there.
All right, cool. I got it right over here. Love, peace, and greasy chicken. Wait a minute. Yeah.
time to